Hello, friends. Let's have some fun.
Hey Dylan, sounds good.
These things are a lot of fun to drive, but nobody ever seems to be in the lobbies, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we really only get about 4 officials every week, but they're pretty reliable. I'll send you some information so you don't miss them. Is it me or is it suddenly a lot darker than it was during the lap and a half I've got of practice? Weather's changeable, but I didn't know it changed it that quick.
Green, green, green. Okay, here comes your first time lap. One more lap. You got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Come on, Glenn, hit an apex.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left. Checkered flag, checkered flag.
All right, Dad, we are done with qualifying. We are
Oh man, I gotta find a little bit of speed.
we're at Rudskogen in Norway, I think. Track temperature 67. The track is high usage. Looks like we attracted 7 drivers. I'm driver number 3, and it sounds like I qualified P2. Pedro took us by half a lap. Gary close behind. Nice lap, Pedro.
We've put in plenty of fuel to finish the race. The estimated SOF is 1,974. Let's take opportunities.
24 laps, is that right? Yeah.
Everyone's gridded. Green, green, green. Left side. The next car's the leader. Clear. Left side. Clear. Car on your left. Stay on the right. Stay on the right. Clear. Car on your left. Clear.
What happened to Pedro?
You're in first.
He was a little bit slow and sluggish. I'm not sure what was going on at the start. Maybe he missed a gear, was in the wrong gear, something. But now he's disappeared completely. Oh, maybe he and Gary got together or something? I don't see Gary either.
point. The car in P5 just set the fastest lap. 23.761. You've got the fastest lap.
All right, the goal now is to drive fast but safe. Drive within my limits. Don't make any big mistakes. Just keep going forward smoothly. Watch the gap, maintain my lead. Be smart. Don't push crazy hard. Don't miss any brake markers. Stay on track. Don't spin, don't crash, don't die.
You just hit the fastest lap. You just hit the fastest lap.
Small mistake, but it won't cost me too much. Just don't keep making those. Coming up the straight last time, I think the gap was 12 seconds. So the game within the game. is to finish the race at least 12 seconds in front of Gary and Pedro, or whomever's back there at the time. So far, so good. Delayed my downshift on that one a little bit. Rode a little bit more speed through later in that long braking zone. Now I just need to find out how to maintain that through the S's there. That felt really close to a slowdown. Coming through that last right-handing apex. Slowdowns are pretty brutal here too. They're big. And easy to overlap one of those S's. A little bit too early on that one, Glenn. Obviously I can't see what's going on back there, but I'm guessing they're all pretty close together, so I'm guessing there's some fighting and they're slowing each other down, so that's gotta help. Excuse me, will certainly help my pace. Sorry, my gap. So any increasing gap I can see is a little bit deceiving because that's probably part of the cause. Except for that last lap, Jim. Oh, in fact, I don't think on stream I don't have both crew chiefs anymore. I've just got the in-game spotter on the stream, but I'm also still listening to crew chief myself. I've been listening to him, using him. It's so long. I'm very used to him, but it's a little bit weird on stream to hear all of them, both of them. But still useful information, so I like listening to him. iRacing's made lots of improvements to the in-game spotter recently, so I turned him on a couple weeks ago and just trying him out. Shut up and drive a lap.
The car in P2 just set the fastest lap, 22.668. That was your fastest lap of the session. fast and flat for you. That was your fastest lap of the session. New fast and flat for you. car is a lap down. You just set the fastest lap. Left side,
Cheers, William.
clear. You got 5 laps to go. We're in a podium position. You got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Wow, why does that line feel so much faster?
You've got the fastest lap.
And fastest lap. I like that. Let's see if Gary takes it in the last two.
Real nice work. This is the white flag lap. You got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Yes! Whew.
You won. This is what happens when you have the best crew chief.
Alright, I feel good about that one. It may not have been exciting viewing, but I feel really good about that. I'll have to go back, and I'm curious what happened to Gary and Pedro at the beginning. Something on the first lap. I'm not really sure why Pedro was so slow, what happened to that. I didn't exactly pay attention to his lines through those first 2 corners. Those 2 apexes are pretty sharp, especially on cold tires. If you miss them or something, it's pretty easy to slow down there. I wouldn't expect him to try to serve a slowdown right there that early on the line, but who knows? He was really slow for some reason. And then I have to guess that he and Gary or something happened. They got together because they both disappeared. But the takeaways there was once I got out in front, I didn't screw it up. That's a win. So I feel good about that. Oof. And the pit entrance, I'm going to remind myself it's right over here somewhere. There we go. Crazy long pit here. Ooh. All right. The good news is most of those laps I was not pushing. I was comfortably within my limits, so that's an encouraging takeaway. All right. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. First things first, let's save this. I'm using an old thumbnail from last time we ran here. So I probably, if I can find some time, need to sit down and find a current shot with the current livery. All right, and then out of curiosity, how did we finish? Me, then Gary, then Pedro. Andres, Matthew, William, Dylan. Dylan was up there on pace. I don't know exactly what the deal was, if he was the cork in the bottle holding Gary and Pedro back, or if he was really on pace. I don't recognize the name, but he seemed to be pretty quick. Something happened there. I saw him disconnect. All right. So looking at lap 1. So let's find a good view, maybe a chase view. There we go. All right. So this is from Gary's view. So that's Gary directly in front of us, Pedro in front of him, and then me over there on the right in the white helmet. Let's go back and take a look at this from Dylan's point of view. Okay, slow start from Dylan, no worries. I'm going to jump up here to Gary. Gary had a good start. I was on the outside. I wasn't going to push it. My second gear is pretty low. Not surprised that Gary got me there. I like how the race runs using 3 through 5, but at the start, it's not perfect. And here, I was already slow on Pedro. I actually checked up twice there. Let's go back and take a look at this a little bit closer. Let's actually check up. I think I actually hit the brakes twice here. You can see the front suspension flex. So whatever was going on, that he was slow. Maybe it was just cold tires and uncomfortable. But he did get it sorted out. Fortunately for me, he got it sorted out just after I'd pulled alongside. So I had him into the next corner. He did not let it go. So it was a good defense. I'm on cold tires, so I'm a little timid. Whoa. That was me getting a little, oh yeah, bouncing in the, this spot right here gets a little bouncy, especially see the car kind of doing that kind of diagonal bound. Pedro fell back after that. Probably not unwisely, given that I almost came into him. And this is Dylan, yeah. Everybody's still pretty tightly spaced here. Nice. Curious how I run this compared to everybody else. So that's me all the way up in front. Gary a little bit wider, or Pedro a little bit wider, Gary a little bit tighter. Oh, bummer. Cold tires, it's an easy place to lose it. Sorry, guys. At least he didn't get into Gary. He actually cleared everybody. Nice recovery, Pedro. All right, so if that's the case, Gary definitely had to check up. Let's go back and look at that from Gary's perspective. Gary definitely had to check up. Fortunately, was able to stay out of contact. Pedro was able to lock the tires and not slide, so good on you. Everybody well handled there. So that opened up the gap to me and Gary. And then I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I was focused forward. Cold tires are my nemesis. And at some point, the gap really... Okay, that would do it. Sorry, Gary. You got to get back in your purple livery. That's what it is. And this is Dylan again. All right, so this is how Dylan got to P2. Where did Gary finish? I think Gary and Pedro came back and finished second and third, right? Yeah. Good recovery, boys. All right. It is hard to pass here. All right. So that I call a successful race. Pretty cold in the basement still, so no sweat, just a little bit of discomfort. Excuse me. All right, so we had 7 drivers. Strength of field was 1974. I started second, and Pedro put in a good lap in qualifying. He out-qualified us by a good half a lap, right? Sorry, half a second. 123's 1, so yeah, almost 4/10. Ouch. And I out-qualified Gary by 2 tens, hundreds, thousands. 2 thousandths. Pedro, nice qual. And then, courtesy of Pedro being slow off the line, I took the lead and then led all 24 laps. So I saw Gary's nose cone get knocked off, so he was definitely down on top speed. Made a little bit of difference, I'm sure, in his overall lap times. Not huge difference because the lap times, the straights are fairly short and the speeds are relatively low. I'm sure it made some difference, but I'm trying to make myself feel better that that wasn't the reason that Gary couldn't make the gap on me. So feel good about that. I think when I started mentioning it after Gary disappeared, the gap was 11 seconds. So all in all, things considered, probably with some battling back there, I put another 6 seconds into Gary. At some point, maybe Pedro had another moment and fell back. But okay, and then a decent bump to safety, no incidents, and I think this might be the first time I'm over 3,100, or if not, it's one of few. So a good bump to driver rating too. All right, I call that one a success. That was good. Not exactly fun viewing, I'm sure, but I feel good about it. I had pretty good pace in the hosted practice session on Sunday, but with the weather being variable, despite our best efforts, it's a little bit hard to compare pace. There's a bug right now in iRacing that even though you set the static conditions, last season they fixed this, but the track temperature would just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. I think because the air temperature is dropping. They apparently fixed the track temperature somehow, so it stays pretty steady, but the air temperature continues to drop throughout the session. And we usually put up, somebody in the community will pay for, doesn't cost a lot, a few $4, $5, $6 a week, but they'll put up 12 or 14 hour hosted practice sessions so we can all practice on the track before it's officially available for the week in iRacing. And it's nice to be able to compare, but the air temperature continues to drop. And I think part of my pace advantage in the host was I had colder air, more dense, better combustion, more power. But so far, knock on wood, bodes well for my overall pace for the week. I hope that continues. All right. Well, thanks for watching, Dad. I'll see you next time.